Ooh, 2024, what a year. We had React 19 being dropped, huge focus on performance, optimizations, improving the developer experience with the React compiler where it will do a lot of optimizations for us, no more having to mess around with them silly hooks like use memo. Don't even bother anymore. And don't forget this huge focus on server-side rendering, having these server components by default. Alongside React 19, Next 15 was dropped, which has support for React 19. And again, Next 15 focuses on performance improvements. We have faster server-side rendering and static site generation. Astro continues to be a popular boy as well. Astro was coming in hot with updates like AstroDB, which easily allows serverless database integration to your static front-end sites. It's lovely, really. Now let's go to the back end. Go and Rust. They still remain these two hot, desirable languages that people just want to get thrown into. That is according to the Stack Overflow Dev Survey, of course. 2024, for me personally, has been a bit of a rollercoaster. Started off with my company making about 40% of our team redundant. I was lucky enough to keep my job, but I ended up hating my job because they also shut down our office, and I was just spending way too much time at home and starting to lose the plot a bit. In my job as well, I just had to start learning C# and .NET because that's what we were moving forwards with as a company from a Node backend, because of course, being part of a big corporation, you got to use the Microsoft stuff, and any sort of free time I had in 2024, I was grinding that leak code. Because when I first got this job, my first developer role, that was back in 2018, that was as an entry-level developer. The interviews weren't too intense, really. They were just basically making sure you weren't a fraud, that you could write code. Going into interviews as a senior developer, whew, they get you to do all sorts of stuff, like having to write code on bits of paper. It's a lot less fun, really. But either way, grinding a bunch of leak code style questions definitely, gets those gears turning, gets you prepared for whatever they're going to throw at you, because you never know, literally never know what they're going to do. Come end of April, I did manage to land myself a new job, get in, and that now involves me working with AWS on a daily basis, using Next on the front end, GraphQL, and because it's 2024, of course, we had to get some AI into the mix. So I also write various Python scripts as well to get that all working. Focus of 2025, first things first, is going to be learning Rust. Rust has some fantastic performance. Like, we've seen these benchmarks and it's always like getting top marks. It's brilliant. And safety as well is such a huge aspect of the language as well, with its opinionated compiler, which I think is necessary for companies going forward to avoid CrowdStrike-esque incidents. Another thing that makes me confident that going forward, Rust is a language of the future is that the US government is endorsing Rust as a language as well to enhance software security. To start my Rust learning journey, I'm currently reading the Rust programming language, written by Steve Klabnik and Carol Nichols, and in order to get a bit more practice sprinkled in there, I'm also doing some Code Warriors katas with Rust as my language as well, just solving some problems. Ended up having to Google a bunch of stuff because I forget how to do basic things in the language at the moment, but that's all part of the learning process. And now that I'm using AWS day to day in my professional life, I will also be looking to get into my next AWS certification as well. I've already got the Cloud Practitioner, the sort of foundational one that gives you an overview of AWS. But now I think it's time to either hit the Solutions Architect or the Developers one. I can't remember what it's called. Text editors. Now at work, I use VS Code because I'm on a Windows machine. Day-to-day life, I've been using NeoVim because I use Linux as a daily operating system. I use Ubuntu. However, as part of this year's sort of resolution, I would like to start using NeoVim on the WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux as well. So using NeoVim daily is going to be another focus, get even more past those crazy keybinds and all that. And it's all well and good learning AWS. learning Next, learning Rust, but I also want to start putting all of these skills together and just building some great performant web applications using Next on the front end, Rust APIs and AWS on the back end. And then as a side quest to all of this, I want to improve my YouTube videos. I want to get better at explaining myself, add a bit more humour to my videos, become a bit less robotic and be more of myself on camera. Please join me for that journey. Let's do it. Let's smash 2025. Good luck to all of you.